Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live 10 questions with series, during which we chat with entrepreneurs and business leaders to ask about their journeys and the lessons they've learned along the way, of course, to help all of us in our journeys too. Just want to apologize for the late start here. It wouldn't be a day ending in Y without some technical issues, am I right? All of us working from home. But I'm glad you're able to make it. I'm glad you're here because today we're actually celebrating Black Business Month. And we'll be sitting down with Neil Brown, who co-founded Amsale with his late wife, Amsale Aberra. Aberra became famously known as the inventor of the modern wedding dress and made history as the first Black woman elected to the Council of Fashion Designers of America, or the CFDA. Aberra passed away in 2018, sadly, but Brown has ensured her legacy continues on in the Amsale brand, from its mission to its designs and everything in between. Now, Brown is going to chat with us today about their journey in building the fashion house, the unique challenges of bridal wear, how they've overcome them, and how he's continued this legacy of the Amsale brand. I'm so excited to bring Brown on, but before I do, I have to remind all of you, as always, make sure you comment to us. Tell us where you're tuning in from. We'll shout out right back to you. And if you have any questions for Brown throughout today's event, of course, pop those in the comments and we will get to as many as we can at the end of today's event. Now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Neil Brown, the co-founder of Amsale. Hi, Neil. How are you?
Good afternoon, Kendall. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. I'm glad we were able to figure out all the technical issues on the back end here. It was crazy, hectic start, but here we are, and I love it. So happy to have you here with us. So excited to dive into the Amsale story. I've actually, I don't know if this is going for all of you who are tuning in right now, but I'm 31, and so I am in the midst of everybody getting engaged and married, and this topic just kind of hit home for me because I've done a lot of, bridal shopping with my friends, and of course, done a lot of dress shopping as well. So I'm really interested to see kind of about the bridal wear industry and learn about Amsale's story, and of course, you and your late wife, Amsale. So are you ready to dive in?
I hope in all your shopping, you'll be directing them to the right place.
Are you kidding? Duh, I know exactly where I'm taking them.
Oh,
in fact, right before we hopped on here, my sister's engaged, Kelsey, and she is actually doing some dress shopping over the next couple weeks. And guess where I'm sending her?
Okay.
I'm sending her to look at Amsale, so it will be great.
She'll get the royal treatment without question.
I love it.
This does everything, of course.
Well, let's dive into these 10 questions. So I'm going to start with question number 1. What encouraged your late wife, Amsale Aberra, to start the house?
Well, it was the mid-'80s. We were getting married. She wanted a simple, tasteful dress, and nothing was simple in the '80s. So she decided to design her own.
Yes.
She believed that there must be other prospective brides that had tastes similar to hers. She had graduated from FIT a couple of years earlier. She was running the sample room of another fashion firm and felt that she developed the skills, the contacts in order to run her own business. So she did.
Wow. Love that. Love that. Now, what was the ethos, if you will, that the Brown brand was founded upon, and what role has that played in Amsale's growth and success?
Well, I think she distinguished herself very, very much by focusing on simplicity of design, lack of clutter at a time when heavy ornamentation was the rage.
The 80s.
The 80s, exactly. She also focused a lot on highlighting the beauty and the confidence of the bride. She always felt that the bride herself was her inspiration, and she placed herself in the bride's shoes or dress, I guess, as she was designing. And then there was this tremendous dedication to craftsmanship, the materials, the construction, and almost an obsession about fit. She felt that if something fit you properly, you'd be comfortable. And if you feel comfortable, you'll feel beautiful.
So couldn't agree more, could not agree more. And I love that focus on the bride. And if you're not in the, bridal wear industry, it's that focus on the customer, right? Putting yourself in their shoes or in their dress and seeing what they would really resonate with. So that really goes across any industry. So question number 3, with an NYC atelier, did I say that right? I've always wondered if I said it right.
That's how I say it. So
okay, perfect.
We're both wrong or we're both right.
I love it. And with many, you guys have that store in New York, and then with many luxury partner retails, how do you ensure that the ethos is portrayed through every product and every line and every channel through which you sell?
Well, we do our best, but it starts with the product. We craft every gown from the beginning of the design process all the way through the production process, as though we were making that dress for our own, as though it was our very own dress. We work very closely with our retailers, both to help them understand the product with product knowledge sessions and materials, and so they understand the product and how best to present it. We have a customer service team, terrific customer service team that's available by phone, text, email, however is convenient to support both the retailers and the consumers. Yeah.
And I mean, again, another thing that factors into any industry, it's that customer service first. And it's that really working with these, it's a partnership with these retailers and with everybody that touches the brand. It's a partnership. It's learning, it's educating, it's really that integrated kind of ecosystem. And again, which transfers across all industries. You got to do it.
Yeah. And in bridal in particular, the emotion really is shared, not just by the bride, but with all of the people who are engaged in helping brides find the right wardrobe for their wedding. Some people who work in the industry just love the fact that they can think of no other product that when someone finds the right one, they burst into tears.
I just got the chills. I've seen it firsthand with 3 of my best friends have found their dresses, and I've seen it firsthand, and there really is nothing like it. And that's actually a great segue into my next question. What would you say is uniquely challenging about bridal couture, though? Like, what is different from bridal than any other industry or any other part of retail?
Well, like we were just saying, it's one of, if not the most emotional wardrobe purchase a woman is going to make. And what's really challenging to those of us who are trying to service her is providing her with both the intimacy and the attention that shopping for a bridal dress deserves in a time when people have become so accustomed to online shopping and urgency and pushing that prime button.
Yeah, right.
So the challenge is, how do you provide a personal and satisfying experience that's going to create a lifelong memory at such an important milestone in someone's life?
Yeah, that's incredibly difficult, but you guys are doing it well, putting that customer first, really putting yourself in their dress, as you said. So what would you say Amsale has done right in navigating those challenges and standing out amid competition?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a continuing challenge, and it's something we continue to strive to excel. But I would say one of the things we are happy about is that we've invested in technology and built a team that we hope brings together the best of the online and the best of the physical experiences. For example, our tech platform, we've designed it to facilitate discovery and convenience, as one expects with remote shopping, by including unique tools like virtual try-ons. We even have an artificial intelligence powered fit advice tool that you can put in a few metrics that you might be surprised at, and it will essentially predict your body's measurements based on a few things, based on years and years of collection of AI data. You can also upload a photo and try on our dresses. In that, you could upload a photo of yourself or someone you admire, and have those dresses appear on that photo, so you get a sense online of how you'd look in that.
Wow. That's amazing and so necessary. Like you said, in the world we live in today, that's so important, especially, amid over the last year and a half when things were closed and people couldn't get in to do these things. That's such an important, those are such important technologies that you've implemented. And you've also recently implemented Oracle NetSuite. But prior to that, what systems were you running on, and how did those present barriers to growth for Amsale?
Well, as a made-to-order business, we needed something that could handle this one-at-a-time production process that we utilize. So we had developed an in-house ERP planning system based on the FileMaker database, which was flexible enough to deal with our made-to-order business, but it didn't allow us to manage. It didn't integrate well with the other aspects of our business, able to give us the amount of control and efficiency that we'd like. So we are, it didn't integrate with the financial tools or the shipping tools or some of the other advanced tools like EDI. We found ourselves struggling to kind of keep up to date and to scale with that sort of a in-house developed tool.
So now, how do you plan to use NetSuite in the future, and as you move forward with us, to make better business decisions?
Well, we're expecting that NetSuite is going to make our operations more efficient and more integrated. We'll enter data once, and that'll inform the whole system. Instead of manually transferring information from the sales system to ship an item to the shipping tools and then record the sale in our financial software, NetSuite will integrate one entry across all of the different features, and it'll flow seamlessly. We're also excited about the reporting functions, which will be live, and it'll give us so much more control and immediate feedback on our business.
Great.
We've I think, having lived through this pandemic, we couldn't have become more aware of the importance of reliability and efficiency and the necessity to do more with less, with little margin for error. We're looking to NetSuite to help us with that.
And I mean, again, another great opportunity for me to ask here, technology, whatever it may be, what processes or priorities have you put in place? What changes have you made over the past year and a half that amid the pandemic that you think will remain a permanent part of Amsale? And what can other brands and companies learn from that?
Well, we've developed both our product and our platform. And I would say we've done our best to develop our team, which has certainly been a challenge during a pandemic when you're not in the same financial position you'd like to be. But we've taken a very customer-centric approach to doing this. We expanded our product to meet the needs of all members of the wedding party and to address all the events associated with the wedding. And for example, during the pandemic, we responded to the customer needs by expanding our little white dress collection when smaller weddings and casual weddings were basically all that one could hold. Our platform and our service team has been expanded, and I kind of include the team as part of the platform for the purpose of increasing the importance, the support for remote shopping. Which, if people couldn't travel and they couldn't shop, all the more important. So as I mentioned, we offered a number of tools, some including virtual appointments. You could make an appointment and speak with someone like you and I are speaking right now and be guided somewhat. And as I mentioned also, the virtual try-ons, you could try things on that you couldn't, at least visually. Get advice on fit through our fit advice tool, and generally increasing the level of customer service so that we can help educate brides and prospective customers before they come shopping.
Great. That's great. And actually, speaking of learning from Amsale and some of these things that you put into place, the education part, that's amazing. Amsale, your late wife, is known as the inventor of the modern wedding dress, and was the first Black female designer elected to the CFDA, which is huge. I actually, before my job at NetSuite, I actually used to cover fashion. And that's a huge accomplishment. So bravo to her. What characteristics about Amsale made her such a respected founder, designer, and person? What can other entrepreneurs learn from her?
Well, thank you so much for those kind words. We're so proud of that legacy, and we're so dedicated to propelling that legacy forward. I would say, key character elements that were responsible for Amsale's success. I mean, first and foremost, you'd have to say design talent. I think also, as I mentioned before, empathy. Empathy with the customer, a sense of connection to the customer. She always felt honored that a customer would choose her design for such an important occasion as her wedding. And finally, courage, to enter a competitive industry with no prior experience and learn those ropes by yourself, to stand by your belief in your design aesthetic of simplicity at a time when everything else was so highly ornamented. And also the courage to break trends, to break the norms, to distinguish her brand. For example, by using Black and other ethnic models in her ads and on the runway at a time when the blonde all-American model was the norm. And and also taking departures like using black and white photography instead of color. So that would be
all wonderful things to learn from. I really love two of the things. I mean, obviously design talent, amazing, but empathy and courage. I mean, that is what, as we enter this new kind of era of innovation that's stemming from the pandemic, I think empathy and courage are so crucial. And I love that you pointed that out. And that's what an amazing story. Now I have one final question to ask you, but we're going to open it up to the audience in a second here for some additional questions. So if you're tuning in right now, don't forget to comment your questions if you have any questions for Neil. And if you just want to shout out and tell us where you're tuning in from, do that as well. But for now, question number 10, Neil, I can't believe we're already here. Amsale Aspire is a program that continues Amsale's legacy. It's a part of the way that you're continuing that legacy. Can you tell our audience about the program, its importance, and how you go about supporting it?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you. Thank you so much for mentioning it. Amsale Aspire is an initiative in partnership with FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology, to increase racial equality in the fashion industry. The past year has been nothing short of cataclysmic, as we all know, in so many respects, more respects than one could imagine. And one thing I think we can say is that events of the past year have brought into full view the many areas the country is lacking in racial justice and equality of opportunity. Fashion, the fashion industry, is just one of those areas where African Americans have had an outsized impact on culture and on style, but very little presence in positions of power. And Amsale Aspire is a scholarship program and a career pathing program that will provide FIT students and alumni with the financial support and guidance to build eminent careers and successful businesses. So we do this by employing the educational resources of FIT, which is one of the world's premier fashion universities, as well as partnering with industry partners to provide counseling, mentors, internships, job opportunities for deserving candidates, and of course, helping those students who need financial help with their education.
It's incredible. That's amazing. We love to hear stories like this. Thank you, Neil, so much for sharing. And we look forward to seeing how the program continues to grow with you. I now want
very
to make sure
excited about
that
it. I'm very proud of it. And very thankful for FIT for being such a supporter. You know, Amsale was a trustee of FIT.
right.
So it was interesting. When I think of the anxiety that she felt when she went to her very first interview, to fast forward so many years to find out that not only did she get accepted, but she ultimately joined the board of trustees. So
it's amazing.
it's
Chills.
and joined the board of trustees.
I have the chills. That's amazing. Love to hear these stories. Thank you. I want to make sure I get to the audience here. We have a couple people tuning in, saying hello from all parts of the world. We have Teresa saying hello from Vancouver. Erin saying, I love Amsale. I wore a bridesmaid's dress from them for a friend's wedding just 2 weeks ago. Amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for the business.
Love that. From Kenneth. Hey, Kendall. Ken Moore here. Worked with Neil on his evaluation of NetSuite. Such an amazing company. And he said, even though my daughters will never get married. Yes, Kenneth. I think that's okay. They may one day and it'll be okay. But he said, if they did, I'd send them to Amsale. That's awesome. Thank you, Kenneth. We have a couple other shout outs. Steve is saying hello. Mohammed saying hello. We have Lauren from Van Nuys saying hello. Ren from Marina Del Rey saying hello. Susie from Playa Vista. Wow. Tori from Santa Monica. Lots of people tuning in here. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Some of the places I visit, some of my favorite places. That's great.
Well, love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So questions coming in here now. Let me see. Let me read some of these. Oh, I like this one. Okay. If you could go back and do anything different with the brand, what would it be?
Well, to be totally transparent, it would have been to recognize the power of social media much earlier. You know, as a kind of old school brand with a lot of heritage that we're proud of, we were also built our brand in traditional media. And I think we were a bit slow on the draw to recognize the transition to social media as an important branding tool. So I would say definitely having recognized and powered up on the social media side would have been something I would have.
Smart. That's a great answer. Great answer. All right, I like this one too. What does the future from Amsale hold?
Well, let me say it like this. Amsale reinvented the wedding dress. Mm-hmm. We will reinvent the wedding shopping experience. When clients connect with us, not only will they find the most beautiful design, they're going to enjoy the most convenient and the most satisfying shopping experience.
Love that. That's great. All right. We have another one coming. Oh, okay. What obstacles are you still encountering as a result of the pandemic? How are you getting over those? Great question.
I'll tell you, it's quite an issue. I would say there's really two big challenges. One is managing risk. We've never been confronted with a challenge. I mean, the world hasn't been confronted with a challenge as major as the pandemic, in 100 years? No. And the idea of how to manage risk going forward is a big challenge. Do we invest in the business, invest in people, invest in product, invest in marketing in anticipation of this recovery so that we don't miss an opportunity? Or do we remain cautious in case the virus might come back or there could be hiccups in the economy and then we possibly miss a huge opportunity? So just navigating the management of navigating risk assessment is a big challenge. I would say the other is that the pandemic has left us with, the economy in general or many industries with certain limitations, resource limitations that we still have to navigate through. Pipeline capacity, the availability of producers of materials and of supplies, logistical delays, just getting things around the world continues to be unreliable and interrupted as air travel has been reduced and their bottlenecks in certain areas. So those would be the two, I'd say, just dealing with the lingering resource limitations, and then just figuring out how do you manage risk going forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's something we'll all be figuring out, I think, for quite some time, making sure that we never find ourselves in these situations again, right? Where we've diversified the supply chain a little bit and we have multiple sources to work with. So,
they say from your lips.
Right. Exactly. Well, Neil, this was amazing. There's a couple more hellos that I want to make sure we get to before we wrap up here. We have Elshawn. Hi, Elshawn. Thanks so much for tuning in. Emily from New York, Kristen from Nashville. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. We wouldn't be here without you. And Neil, with that, I can't believe it, but our time has already come to an end. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for sharing Amsale's story.
Thank you so much for inviting us. It was really fun. It's great connecting with everyone. I hope there was some helpful information along the way.
Amazing. Great. A lot of great information. Of course, to all of our viewers, thanks for bearing with us again. Sorry for a little bit of a late start today, but we so appreciate you joining in. And as you probably already know, I'm going to repeat it though, we've moved this series to bi-weekly. So we'll be right back here in 2 weeks to continue our celebration of Black Business Month. We'll be here on August 26th with the founder of Red Bay Coffee at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, and we will see you there. Have a good one.